Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast Remedial program, a new content where we summarize the key points of our weekly podcast. So in this first episode of the program, we will summarize key points from our podcast last week on the evolution of cryptocurrencies. So the first cryptocurrency called Bitcoin was created in 2008 through a white paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto as a response to the centralized financial system, namely the conventional banks, which triggered the American property bubble in 2008, which ultimately led to a global financial meltdown. The crisis highlights the flaws of the centralized financial system, in which all too often banks and the markets engage in speculative activities which make gatekeepers of the system, the 1% which control over 88% of the entire global resources, richer. The centralized system also tilted to favor the rich and privileged, who are often culpable for such crises. The fact that governments often bail out banks and market players deemed too big to fail at the expense of middle-class taxpayers support the argument. Therefore, cryptocurrency becomes the hallmark of the decentralized finance field, seeking to facilitate peer-to-peer transactions, removing traditional middlemen and gatekeepers such as conventional banks, which often engage in predatory financial activities. As the world's first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin allows individuals to conduct transactions directly with each other, so with transaction history available for everyone to see in the peer-to-peer network. So this allows vendors to get fairer payment for the stuff they sell, while offering buyers much fairer price without having any middlemen like the retailers or the e-commerce platforms jacking up the price, sucking ridiculous amounts of profit from the stuff placed on offer. Basically, the cryptocurrencies also transcend fiat currency and geographical differences, allowing for faster, much cheaper international transactions. Most recent advances in decentralized finance have also seen cryptocurrencies giving financial access to the unbankables as well as their applications in loan provision. Transactions in cryptocurrencies are done via the Decentralized Exchange or DEX. You can also use certain applications to convert cryptocurrencies to fiat currencies. Cryptocurrencies are not printed by any central banks, and there are no financial institutions which can issue a policy to print more cryptocurrencies in adjustment to macroeconomic fluxes. Yet, in order to prevent speculative activities as well as hype-based inflation or deflation, the decentralized finance system makes sure that the cryptocurrencies are available only in a certain amount. The value of cryptocurrencies also declines in health over time in order to prevent market volatility. This is why new developers always build new cryptocurrencies on top of the software architecture of the old ones in order to help more users access decentralized finance services. The new cryptocurrencies also come with improved security and functionalities, allowing different use cases beyond the financial realm, such as supply chain and document management. To date, there are over 10,000 different cryptocurrencies in circulation. The most popular ones for investments include Ether, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. Now that you have understood why cryptocurrencies come in different types, we will go in more depth into how they are being used in the peer-to-peer platforms. With the recent progress in blockchain technology, it has become the norm for different peer-to-peer network platforms to use more than just one cryptocurrency type to enable complex functionalities such as supply chain, document management, and loan provision. Now, people who have read stories about transactions using blockchain or have completed such transactions must be familiar with two terms, cryptocurrencies and tokens. And let's face it, these two terms often cause confusion among readers and users alike, because what are the sameness and differences between the two? Simply put, the two terms refer to the same object. Yet, differences in terminology is essential to circumvent limitations on cryptocurrency use imposed by certain policies. Countries like United States, for instance, prohibit the use of cryptocurrencies for loan provision, So it's very common for peer-to-peer networks which apply different cryptocurrency types to use the term token instead to refer to some of the transaction or functionality vehicles. Currently, Ethereum Classic can serve as a role model in terms of decentralized finance application readability, scalability, efficiency, and security. No wonder the NFTs have been widely adopted so far, and then it attests to just how easy to use these apps. The biggest challenge faced by blockchain developers in their effort to make more people adopt the technology lies in its app's interface readability, which still varies depending on the type of functions that they provide and their complexity. Currently, the peer-to-peer network apps are working toward becoming more user-friendly and simplifying its user interface readability. The decentralized finance sector is also working toward improving its scalability, efficiency, and security with newer consensus mechanics, such as the proof of participation. That's all for our podcast remedial program today. The next episode of our podcast is talking about the interface readability of peer-to-peer networks, so be sure not to miss it.